Coming out is release 29 of Wysiwyg. It's a lighting designer product, as you all know. Good morning, Mats. Basically with R29, the major push of the release was to take the lighting designer tools and make them more lighting designer friendly. I'm a lighting designer myself. I'm not a software coder or anything like that. And I just keep seeing people I know in the audience here, so this is wonderful. But a few things I want to show you are some of the tweaks that we've made to make the lighting designers faster. If you're an LD, you know that the more shows you can do a week or a month, the better. So that's kind of what we've tried to do. Simple little things. We've changed our shutters and barn doors tool to what I call the cuts and adjustments tool. Okay, can everybody see? I don't want to be in anybody's way here. Just a few things. When you have any kind of a fixture that'll take any kind of an adjustment, we'll just start with a par here. In the past in Wysiwyg, it's taken a few extra steps to get to where we're going, but we're talking minutes in terms of saving time. So what I've done, or what we've done, my team, is we've done things like giving you the ability to turn bottles right there on your pars immediately. Very fast. You know, seconds are important to me, so as a lighting designer, these kind of things are absolutely essential. Fresnels, for example, or anything with a lamp train, you can go through medium flood, full spot, medium flood, etc., etc. Okay? Quick. We're looking for quickness. You can also, when you have a fixture selected, you also have a window that gives you a preview of that fixture's point of view. So you can focus from here, you can tilt from here, you spin along the pipe if need be, rooster out, all of that stuff. Very fast. We're trying to be fast. Lighting designers, you know, we're all very crazy animals with brains that go 1,000 miles an hour, so I try to bring this to the product as best as I can. We've also made it now so that you can grab fixtures and adjust their lamp types, lens types if necessary, any angles, or change their focus positions right at the drop of a hat. It's very, very important to us that you're very, very fast when you use Wysiwyg. Okay, I'm going to close this up. I'm going to jump around a little bit. I hope that's all right. It's morning, you know, and I haven't had coffee yet. So, as crazy as that is, one thing that we've added into Wysiwyg is the ability now to tilt the camera, to roll left and right on the camera. This is a tool that we can also lock out because, you know, if you're doing broadcast, it's always zero. We're always moving around trying to keep that jib right at the angle level of zero. Okay, I'm going to reset my directions here. So we've had a dimension of movement we call 6D, 6 degrees of freedom. Now you have all roll, pitch, yaw, X, Y, and Z right at your control anytime you need it. Something that's kind of my favorite thing for Wysiwyg in this next iteration is what we call shaded view selection. I can literally now select my fixtures right in shaded view, which to me as an artist is pretty awesome. If I hit the tab key, I get shaded view selection. And it also disables my, my camera, okay? I can then grab and select all of those fixtures and affect their intensities. I can, if I have moving lights, for example, I'll grab a moving head. I can move it around without having to switch modes. We're saving minutes of time off of every decision that you make now in Wysiwyg. This is seriously important to us. I keep pushing speed, but you know how it is. You know how little production time we can have when it really comes down to it. Okay, colors, anything that you want to do. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go back to the CAD mode. Something else that we've adjusted a little bit is, let me go back to wireframe. We've also adjusted our quick tools. Tried to make them very, very fast. So before the quick tools window, it was a quick tools window with lots of affections that you can make for it. What we've done now is we've tried to break it out so that if you just need to look at accessories, you can. If you just need to look at fixture data options, you can. Just need to look at attributes of a fixture, pan, tilt, focus, things like that. You can, very fast. And the fixture now, the window now is non-modal, so you can keep it anywhere you want it, and it's always moving, always working. We've also added the ability to quick tool or quick fixture lamp and lens types, which is something that saves seconds, many seconds off of operations in Wysiwyg. This is very important. I keep stressing speed. That's what we're stressing in this release. One other thing, or another thing rather, that we've added into Wysiwyg R29 is what I call the production team information wizard. We took a little bit of this from Vivien 2012's production info wizard as well. What this is this gives you the ability to track an exhaustive list of personnel on your production. If you have a tour, you can check the touring box. If you have a film, you can check the film box. If you have more than 2 lighting suppliers on your tour, for example, if you have 4 or 5 companies bringing you gear, you can add that and add those extra informations in. If you have grips or techs or production electricians like on a film shoot or a movie studio, you can add that as well. Name of your show, date of your show. When you click through, and I'll click through these fast just so you see, we tried to get so many extra pieces of data into Wysiwyg so that you have that right at your fingertips. It's so very important to have that information. Lighting design stuff is very important, as we know, but being able to get a hold of the people you need to get a hold of now is also extremely important to us. Something we've also done is if you're doing this and you're entering in numbers and oh God, I've got to go fix this cue because right now in my head, that cue needs to be fixed. If I cancel out of this, I keep all of the stuff that I had in the program before. So if you dump the wizard, you don't lose anything. It's very easy also to grab this information from the options window right here. You can also enter it in both ways, bi-directional, okay? Very, very fast. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh yes, let's go back into the design mode. Something else I want to show you is some of our new camera path tools. We've added a lot of new pieces of information for the camera and camera paths to move around. I'm going to go draw a camera path. So you can see it's very, very easy to draw a camera path and then affect changes to it. Something else we've done for organizing your design, organizing your drawing, is we've changed the size of the camera frustums, the actual representation of the actual angle of the camera. We've done this to manage the drawing. We've also shown it so that now all the camera frustums give you absolute directional positioning as you go around. This is something to keep you oriented. It's very important to us. If I go into the camera path's properties, I can also close the camera path and adjust its tension. You know, tension around 2 points. You either have a straight line and no tension, or heavy tension and all the way around a curve. Very sexy, very nice, very around the curve kind of thing. Okay, if I go into this, if I go back into my design mode, and let me go do this. Let me go into front view, just make sure my camera path is, and it is not. Grab that, move it up. All right, I'm also going to draw what we have a camera target, which is called. Camera target is exactly what you think it is. It is a camera target that you look at as you're moving around in your design. And what this gives you is it gives you the ability to have multiple focus points looking around as your camera is sweeping around the venue. You go around. I just want to make sure we give this height. Okay, I'm going to go back into design mode. And I'm going to turn on my camera path editor and my timeline. I'm going to scoop this a little bit back this way. Okay, camera path. We give you the ability to change nodes on X, Y, and Z positioning. In R29, we also give you information on roll on X, Y, and Z. So roll, pitch, and yaw, or roll, pitch, and bank, heading, stuff like that. If I go through and I play my camera path, actually I'll stop it and I'll go back to here. I'm going to tell my camera, or my camera path rather, to follow the target that I've assigned to it. So now when I go back to play, it's going to follow this all the way around. I can also, on the fly, change any of my angles. So I'll just change the camera angles to 60. It's very fast. We want these changes to be quick for you, so that when you're working in Wysiwyg, you are working in Wysiwyg as fast as you possibly can. Orientation things we've added. We've added a gyroscope into the shaded view, which is of course removable if you dislike that. So, but what we give you is the ability to just have orientation. It's so funky sometimes to be stuck behind something in a piece of CAD drawing. What the hell am I? You know what I mean? So you're able to just grab it, see where you are. We've actually also added a couple of things I really like called the world grid and the world axis. The world axis is a big jack, but it also gives you ultimate positioning. So you know where you are, where your 0 position is, fast, fast, fast. This is very, very important to me. How many times have I said that now? 40? 50? Something like that? Too many. Thank you. All right. I'd like to, if it's all right, I'd like to stop and I'd like to go on to Vivien 2012.
Can I interrupt?
Please?
All of you guys know that Wysiwyg is highly efficient. It saves you power, it saves you all sorts of things. We're also moving something else further forward, and that's what we call a paperless society. Everything Jim's been doing here is all touch capable. He can reach into that screen, he can manipulate. He can also now view Wysiwyg through any portable device, you can be walking around on stage with something like an iPad, and you have all the information at your show at your fingertips, no printed paper. You can even lay out your plots, walking around with an iPad and seeing where your lights get placed. So we're walking forward into something we call not only energy efficient, but very paperless. No more printing plots, no more reports, nothing. Everything is going to be in that device for you, or any touch device for you. And that's going to be consistent with our Vivien product and our Wysiwyg products. So
we also have Wysiwyg working on the iPad now too, which is something that we're really...
VNC?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Absolutely.
Actually, VNC was too slow, so we're using something called Splashdot.
That's right.
And it works very, very well.
Effectively, not independent of another processor. In order to have Wyg on an iPad, you still need...
We're still running on the main frame, but we're talking to it now over long distances. And that we can also, now that we can talk into the iPad, we can also talk to our moving lights directly out of Wysiwyg through our autofocus protocols. So you can be standing on stage with your iPad, look in the virtual world and go, oh, I want to talk to that light, and just literally talk to it. Build your preset focuses right out of it. So there's a whole strategy as we move forward. Jim stressed the time and speed savings. I'm going to stress the cost savings, the creativity, and now paper savings. And we proliferate all our products, Wysiwyg Vivien and Black Tracks, the same way. So, perfect, thanks Richard. Any questions then? Questions?
Queries, posers? I guess one of the other things to mention is that we're very heavily stressing sustainability in Wysiwyg, giving you the ability to be faster as a designer, but also save a lot of time on the back end so that you can produce less carbon. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. You save less on trucking, you save less on time in the venue, HVAC, all of these things, by being able to very quickly affect your designs. Write focus groups, have it all done, show up at the venue, update and go. Yeah?
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, all right. So now we'll move on to Vivien. Vivien is the sister product to Wysiwyg. Vivien's for events and meetings, and it works in a parallel marketplace to this one. There's a hell of a lot of overlaps, and we've done a lot of work in Vivien now to make her way more user-friendly and added a lot of features. Jim will run through them, table and chair assignments.
Something I'd like to start with is what we call guest management. So I tried to talk to hundreds and hundreds of event designers to find out what their serious issues were in their own design process and their management process. And one of them was dealing with guests on tables. It blows my mind that so much of that is still done on paper today. However, what we've done is we've tried to make it so, and I've laid in a set of tables in a room, very simple, very simple. But what you can do now is you can import an Excel list of guests that steps you through. So if I grab my guest import, I'm just going to grab this Vivien company lunch. We tried to make it very, very simple and quick for the user. Your files headers, you match Vivien's files headers with yours. I know this sounds very, very rudimentary, but it's time saving. First name, last name, menu choice, and RSVP. Click finish. Your guests are in. It's visual feedback oriented, very visual feedback oriented to keep you fast. If you have RSVPs, they show up as red so that they're not assigned meals. These things are very fast to try to get the event designer getting the work done. Moving guests around is as easy as grabbing them and moving them to a table. If I grab them and actually move them to the table, and as you move them around the table, I'm going to zoom in on this here, you might notice that you're also looking at lots of visual feedback. Come on, there we go. If you assign it to a table, it shows you and it gives you chairs that are next to each other. If you move it to a chair, it gives you chairs that are next to each other. You can also multiple select and move guests to a table, which is also the control click select. When you have a guest assigned to a table, it gives you feedback. You have a guest at a table, you no longer can drop onto that table. If you want to drop onto a table that has a guest sitting in it, it'll tell you, hey, I'm going to have to move this person for you. Obviously the dialogue is considerably shorter, but you know me, being able to talk like I talk. We can also have table names, which is a very important thing that we have in Vivien 2012, organization. I just call this, since I see Cat and Joe, Cat's table, or I'll spell it wrong there, Catter's table. There, see, there it is. Same thing, very fast. You also have an unassigned guests grid and assigned seats grid. These are all they interflow. You can move things from one to another so that you get to work how you want to work in Vivien 2012. It's not like Wysiwyg. We try to keep this product with a considerably lower learning curve. Not that anyone is less understanding of anything else, but sometimes when you're an event designer, it doesn't matter how well you can use the program. You need to be able to use it now. And I know that makes a lot of sense in the industry. Something else we can show are assigned guests, which if you go and click the toggle highlight occupied seats tool, you see the feedback, visual feedback. I know I keep pushing this, but these are what I see as very important things to help the user be faster. If I go back into, I'm going to go back into my drawing wireframe here, and I'm going to delete these tables, because what I'd like to show you is just how fast you can affect changes into a room. I've got a room, it's 80 by 80 feet. We have what we call the seating wizard. I'm going to define a layout area, rectangular. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to define my layout area. Then it asks me what my orientation of table 1 is, chair 1. Okay, I'm just going to make it up. Then I can go through, grab my table sets. I'm going to grab a dining set here, just with 8 chairs around, so on and so forth. Okay, and I grab this, and I click next. I can also then, I can either fill my room to max capacity, or if I've got 31 tables, I can put 31 tables in and fill the room on 31 table total. Okay, we try to make this very fast. Minimum and maximum items per row. If you already have this design, these are really quick things. The 3 main layout styles that we see are theater, classroom, and banquet. You can affect these pretty much any way you want, but this is generally the way that we're working. This is generally the way that the industry layout is. And I know I got lots of 100 shows under my belt here. Specify banquet layout seating, that's distance between tables. Okay, we'll make it about 14 just for the fun of it. And your layout assignment, which would be center. Now we have feedback, how many tables were added, what was the seating capacity, what it is now. Available seats, non-available seats. And something we found very important was square foot of the area, or square meters in your area, total venue area versus the table layout area. Okay, these things are just to make you fast. These are all now what we call guest enabled. Okay, we've also introduced something into Vivien 2012 what we call table sets. A table set is a table and chairs that are enabled for guests that are already a library item. So they go in and they're done. You don't have to keep putting them in one at a time. You just drop them in, they're ready for guests, and they're ready for you to assign them to the guests. Very quick. Vivien 2012 also has camera paths. I already showed you that in Wysiwyg. The same tool is in Vivien 2012. And the last thing I'd like to show you, unless I forget something that Gil will help me remember, is the event info wizard. Vivien's a little bit different because what we do is right at the beginning of your work, as soon as you open Vivien, we say, hey, do you want to enter in for that information that you know you need right now? You can say no, it takes you to the drawing. Otherwise, the event info wizard comes through and it gives you all of that information again, all of the people that you need to know, things like emergency venue contact, things that you wouldn't think of as an event designer, because Vivien users are a little experience to years of experience. We try to keep that flow all the way in running clean. This is Vivien 2012. Yes?
What about Vivien Online coming out of 2012?
Vivien? Okay, we have a product called Vivien Online, which is a web-based product that allows a hotel to embed this onto their web server. A client can then come to the hotel's website, design their entire event like a video game. When they click send, it sends the event planner at the hotel a Vivien file. Dumps all the information right into Vivien so that that person can then go along, cost it out, make a quote, get it on and get another client in the pipe. It's all about helping you be more effective on site in your venue, whether you're a planner, a designer in Vivien, or you're managing a property. Vivien Online is a product that works directly in with Vivien 2012, and it is something that the hotels would then embed. So that it's all direct connectivity. Cast deals with all of the back end, and the hotels just get a product that they can work with their clients instantly and immediately on something they've already done. You done Farmville, you can design a wedding now on the web. And that's really how it is. And that's really where we're going. Very touch-free, very paperless society.
We don't ask you for anything. You can design, you can play, you can keep what you're doing, and it's only when you're ready to submit it and get pricing and availability that we ask you for an email address. And that removes the barrier of nobody wants to give their email addresses to anybody because they get inundated. And we also put you in the Club V, so you can come back, you have your own access, you do everything. So you get your own little world to design in online.
If you've been online, can you save your program and come back and modify it?
Absolutely, and that's, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and you get the full textured look and feel of what you're building. And it's also got collision detection in it. It's also got forced occupancy counts in it. It's also got fire and safety rules in it. So you can't get it wrong. And when you send it to the hotel already knows that you can do what you're trying to do in their venue. So it's all built in, and it's all about getting people, because the hotel's problem is they can't get people into the hotel. Everybody's doing everything online now, and they choose their events by somebody else's picture. So we're giving people the ability to design their own event in that hotel.